Oh my gosh, what's happening to me? Uh, hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Happy Knitting Podcast. My name is Julia, and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today is Monday, the 5th of June 2017. If you're watching this podcast for the very first time, I really hope that you'll enjoy it, and maybe you'll subscribe and become a regular viewer. And if you're coming back, thank you ever so much. I really appreciate that. We have a Ravelry group called the Happy Knitting Podcast group on Ravelry, so please go over and join. There you'll find the show notes for every episode, as well as knit-alongs, chatter threads, introductions, a thread to ask questions, and all kinds of enabling threads for coupon codes, shameless self-promotions, and so on. So I'd love to see you over there. Today we'll talk about finished objects, works in progress, acquisitions, and life in general. But before we do all that, I have some winners to announce. So the Keeping It Vanilla KAL just ended. It ended on May 31st, and I drew the prizes on June 1st. And I will just announce the winners. So I just realized I forgot to bring one prize over, but I showed it a million times, so I think it'll be alright. So the first prize, and most of these prizes will be sent out directly from the makers, which is easy for me and probably cheaper as well, so I can't show those to you. So Lynn, who has the Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast and Etsy shop, she is donating one project bag, and the winner is number 43, who was Denise515, who is Denise from Rhode Island. So congratulations to Denise. Please do get in touch with me, and I will put you in touch with Lynn. The second prize was 2 sets of mini skeins and handmade skin balm, donated by a lovely viewer of the podcast who is Deanne. She's in Canada. And I drew 2 winners, and the winners were number 79, who is BL Hearts Samba, who is Brenda from BC, also in Canada, and number 82, who is Chris Kuhnel, who is Chris from Colorado. So again, both of you, please get in touch with me, and I will put you in touch with Deanne. Next, we had a skein of Pinta yarn from Das Regenbogenschaf. And that's this yarn, which I used to knit a pair of socks very recently. It's her new sock base, which is a wool, rami, and silk blend. And the winner will get to choose either one 100-gram skein or 2 50-gram skeins from Maike's shop. And I drew number 13, who is Minerva's Bliss, who is Minna from Finland, who has won a giveaway before. So congratulations. Again, get in touch with me. I will put you in touch with Maike, who is the dyer behind Das Regenbogenschaf. And she will send that to you. And the fourth prize is the one that I forgot to bring over, but I think I've shown it a couple of times. And that was the skein of Studio C yarn and the resin stitch markers from Share My Passion. And that goes to post number 15, who is Sabine P., who is Sabine from Frankfurt in Germany. So Sabine, please get in touch with me with your address, and I will send that out to you. So a huge congratulations to all of the winners. All of them were drawn using a random number generator. And of course, a huge thank you to the people who donated prizes. That was really, really generous of you guys, and I really appreciate it, and I think all the winners will love what they're getting, because all of the prizes are really, really stunning. So thank you to everyone who participated. I really love that you guys were so active. And also, I feel like I never mentioned this, but I'm sure there are lots of people who kind of participate quietly. That's what I mostly do with knit-alongs, to be honest. I'm always too unorganized to get finished objects pictures in and that sort of stuff. So a lot of times I just kind of participate in knit-alongs without really joining into the threads, and I still really, really like that idea. So if you were one of those people, thank you for that as well. So that's it for the Keeping It Vanilla KAL. Like I said, all prize winners, please do get in touch. I will probably redraw winners in about 2 weeks' time if the winners haven't gotten in touch with me until then. I just want these prizes to go out into the world to people who actually watch the podcast and who do or will enjoy them. So just letting you know, if you are a winner, please do get in touch as soon as possible. So with that, Keeping It Vanilla KAL is officially done. We have a new knit-along running at the moment, which is the CYS KAL, which is the Celebrate Your Stash knit-along. And I have finally started a thread on Ravelry. I was kind of very, very slow about that. So that knit-along is to celebrate your stash. So organize your stash, look through your stash and find some yarn that's been in your stash for a while, something that's maybe very special or something that you love but you didn't really know what to knit with it. I'm going to be very relaxed with this knit-along, so you can essentially do whatever as long as you can somehow explain how it relates to celebrating your stash. That is 100% fine with me. And that will run until the 31st of July. No, hang on. Yeah, the 31st of July 2017. And we also have 2 prizes for that, but I'll announce those later in the episode / in future episodes. So if you are wanting to donate a prize, you still can. Just get in touch with me. Most easiest would be to go through Ravelry. My username is Wupfi, which is WUEPFI. And that's also how you can contact me with any sort of podcast related stuff. Anyways, so let's talk about some finished objects. I finished a pair of socks. And these are my very stripy socks using Nicole C. Mendes yarn. I have a card here actually. So this is her card. She's a German indie dyer who is quite popular for her self-striping colorways. And the skein that I knit was an old one. It's the first time knitting with this yarn. And she has since changed base. So this is a 75-25 wool and nylon blend, whereas her new base is a merino nylon blend, I believe. The colorway was 202. I just knit some plain vanilla socks for the Keeping It Vanilla KAL. I did actually finish these just before the end of May, so theoretically they count, but of course I did not enter into my own knit-along. And yeah, these are just gift socks. I cast on 64 stitches, did a 1x1 twisted rib, stockinette sock. I put in afterthought heels, and these are completely matching. And then I didn't really know if I was going to match the toes as well, the heels, because these are afterthought heels. And I decided the recipient, I think she's not super perfectionist like that, and I really like them to be a tiny bit different, so I just thought it would be really fun to put in non-matching heels. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think I'm happy with it. So besides that, these are completely matchy-matchy, and yeah, these are going to go to the recipient very soon, and I hope that you'll like them. So that was going to be the only finished object this week, but I'm pretty sure that this is a finished object. Dun, da, da, da. So I got bitten by the crochet bug again. And I was just crocheting and crocheting on my giant granny square blanket. And then I kind of decided that it's big enough. So I think I'm done with this. So this is my giant granny square blanket. And it's really just that. It's just a granny square. And you just keep going round and round, and you turn it around every now and then, because otherwise it will get sort of skewed and all over the place. I just used leftover sock yarn. These are all just minis that either people sent to me or were leftovers from my socks. And this is the blanket. I have kind of blocked it, but I did a very sort of sloppy blocking job because I was blocking it on my balcony, and then it started raining and I had to rescue it. But yeah, this is quite a good couch-sized blanket now, I think. I'm super, super happy with this. The reason why I say I'm not 100% sure if it's finished is because, as you can see, I did not put a border on. I just finished the round that I was on at some point, and then I just stopped. So I'm thinking maybe, I'm not sure, maybe I want to do stash dash. There's a podcast hosting it, and I don't actually watch it. But I would just kind of like to see if I can do 10Ks in the summer. But I really haven't even looked into the details of that yet, and I wouldn't, really. Again, I'm going to be a silent participant. I just really want to know how, or if I can do 10K. So if I do, I might put a border on this, because that's the only way I'm going to be motivated to do a border. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Let me know if you do think I should do a border. But if I did, I would do it in Stash Dash, because this is already like, I think, close to 3,000 meters of yarn. So if I did a border, then this could count towards the stash dash. I'm actually really happy with the way it looks right now, so I might just leave it like that. As you can see, I use pretty much the most colorful yarns you could possibly use, and I'm not going to go into the details because that would just be insane. I think I was somewhere around here last time, and I just crocheted like I'm a mad woman, because obviously those sides are quite long, if you can get an idea. So this used about 650 grams of yarn. It's very nice and heavy and drapey, and I absolutely love it. And I used a 4mm size G hook, in case you're interested. So that's it for my finished objects, and because I'm crazy, what do you do when you finish a blanket? It's kind of the same thing that happens with socks. Of course, you start a new blanket. So, in my new favorite tote, which I showed you last week, I just love tote bags, and I think these sort of bags are perfect for blankets. I have a new blanket that I started, and this was inevitable. I started a granny stripe because I really, like I said, I really was bitten by the crochet bug, and I can't imagine not having a crochet blanket on the go. So I cast on for a granny stripe blanket. I'm not doing it super wide. It's a little bit wider than my crochet granny square. I actually haven't measured it yet. But I figured I'd rather make it longer, and if worst comes to worst, I can always put a border on this one, but I think it'll be wide enough. So what I did was I kind of went crazy over the chainless foundation, which everyone and their grandmother said you should be using for these blankets. So when I have no idea about something, I just tend to do what everyone else says. So I looked at videos for a chainless foundation row tutorial, and it looks really easy, right? It looks easy, and it actually is really easy, but you guys, this did my head in. I'm not very good at crochet, and I don't know the English terms, I don't know the American terms, I don't know the German terms. I'm just kind of a lost cause when it comes to crochet. So this stupid foundation row took me forever. But I did manage to, I did actually figure it out in the end, and I have posted the link to the video that I used on my project page, so you'll be able to find that if you're interested. And now I'm just obviously doing stripes. I'm using the pattern that, again, everyone is using by Attic24. Again, it'll be linked in my project page. And again, I'm using my 4mm size G hook, I believe. And yeah, I'm just going crazy. I actually started with a different yarn on the bottom, but that was kind of, it wasn't hairy, but it was sort of, I didn't have a very good stitch definition, which is fine, except that I was already struggling so hard to get the stupid crochet hook through the right loops and stuff, so I then just changed to this yarn, which was a little bit easier to work with as a beginner. So this is Featherfin Yarns, who is a German indie dyer, and I knit a pair of monkey socks out of this ages ago. And then the top one is from Fondant Fiber in her Sentimental Journey. So I'm very, very excited about this. Now that the foundation is done, it's super easy, of course. And I've already kind of put aside some minis that I want to go into this blanket. I want to keep this a little bit lighter. I don't necessarily want to say softer, but I do like a lot of, pinks and purples. So I just threw a couple of minis in my tote bag, so I can just pull from these whenever I'm working on this blanket. And as you can see, besides this very neon yellow one, these are kind of soft and light, and I think they're going to make a very beautiful blanket together. So I'm not sure if I'm going to put any dark colors in this one. Maybe like this is kind of dark, but I think it still goes. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this. And for my previous blankets, all three of them, my two sock yarn, mitered square blankets, and the granny square, I only ever used plied yarn, but I have really beautiful mini skeins that are singles yarns, so I think with this one I'm going to put in singles as well. So I'm very, very excited to be working on this, even though yesterday I feel like half of the day was gone just working on this stupid foundation, and that kind of did my head in a little bit. But I know that's my fault, and if I were to do it again, it would be much faster, so it's really not the fault of anyone but myself. So that's my most exciting new cast on, but I also have some other projects on the go. So in here, I still have my Excuse Me shawl, and I've made some progress, but not a whole lot, to be honest. So how do I explain this? My last Excuse Me shawl that I knit, which is a pattern by Stephen West, by the way, I did scrappy, so I used lots of different mini skeins, and this one I was going to do just with 2 colors, but to be honest, I just got bored, and the rows are so long, and it felt so much slower because I wasn't changing colors, and I had this pink mini lying right next to me the entire time, so at some point I was like, I just need to make my Excuse Me shawl even more pink. So I decided to strap in this pink mini skein. I'm not sure if after that I'm just going to go back to the original colors, or if I'm going to make it just sort of like a scrappy, stripy border with different kind of minis. I have no idea yet, to be honest. But yeah, this is the Excuse Me shawl. It is definitely growing. You can see the stitch marker is where I was last week. And the main yarns, this dark one is from Das Mondschaf, who is a German indie dyer in the Rapture colorway. And this beautiful lighter one is Woolen Vine Yarns MCN in her Volke base in the Pandora colorway. And this pink mini skein that I'm using is a mini skein that Kim of Golden Yarns sent to me. I think when I started my new job, which was so sweet. So I just thought that goes absolutely perfectly, and I'm really excited about this, to be honest. And ever since doing the scrappier stripe, I'm feeling much more excited about this project again, which was the entire point. So yeah, that's my scrappy Excuse Me shawl, I guess. I'm knitting it on 3.5mm needles using fingering weight yarn. A lot of people have asked me if that works, and it totally does. I've done it before, and on my previous one I used less than 2 full skeins of yarn, so it's definitely an option if you're thinking about it. Just go for it. I'm really enjoying it. My next work in progress are my vanilla socks that I'm knitting for myself out of this beautiful yarn by Herbstblatt Regina, who is another German dyer. It's in her Bambi and Trinity colorway on her Hazel Soft Sock, which is an 80/20 merino nylon. And I have finished, crazy hair, I finished the first sock. I really love this sock. I made it very long, as you can see. I did 20 rows of 2x2 rib, followed by 90 rows of stockinette, a garter stitch, fish lips kiss heel, and then a stockinette foot. So the first one is done, and the second one, as you can see, is close to the heel. I think I have like 10 more rows to go, and then I can put in the heel as well. I'm still really enjoying this yarn. I think it's very, very pretty, to be honest. Let me give you a close-up. This was part of her Western Yarn Club, and this was definitely my favorite color out of the 3 colors that she sent me. And I'm really enjoying working with her base as well. I chose the more squishy and luxurious sock base, and I'm very happy I did. And yeah, I have my coffee cup stitch marker also from Kim of Golden Yarns on here. I think that marks 70 rows, so I need to do 20 more rows of stockinette before I can put in the heel. So I'm knitting these on my Chagu red lace needles, which are my favorite sock needles, followed closely by the Higher Sharps. And yeah, hopefully I'll have these done next week. I really want to get some stuff off my needles, including my Excuse Me shawl as well. We'll see how that goes. Next, I cast on a new pair of vanilla socks. You might remember we have the One Ball with Love Cow, which is an informal knit along to knit with commercial sock yarn, and I completely stopped knitting with commercial sock yarn. So I just decided it's time to get back into it, and this yarn was gifted to me by a lovely viewer. It is a opal yarn. It is Opal Schafpate 5, and this is the yarn range using German sheep. So it's entirely German wool, which I really, really like. And to be honest, this is probably the most soft and the nicest opal yarn that I've worked with, because some of it can be quite scratchy, and this one I really like. It's a really nice sort of yarn base. It is colorway number 7254, which is also called Wölkchen, which is cute. And I'm doing vanilla socks. These will either go to probably to my best friend or my sister, because they all have small feet, so I can decide later. So I just knit 20 rounds of 2x2 rib and then a stockinette, what's the word? A stockinette leg. I put in a fishnip's kiss heel, and now I'm almost ready to put in the toe because my friend has tiny feet. I love knitting for people with small feet because it's just so much faster. I have a European size 41 and Kai has a size 44, so that's quite big. So I'm really happy to be knitting small socks. And I'm also really happy to be working with commercial sock yarn again. It was really funny. I cast this on and I knit about half of the rib and I really wasn't sure, and I was so close to just tearing it out and casting on with a different yarn, but now I'm super happy that I kept going because now I actually really like this sock yarn. And I really like the idea of knitting with yarn from German sheep. I think that's really neat, and it's good to be knitting with local yarns. I do try to buy a lot from German indie dyers and stuff, but a lot of times the yarn is still shipped all over the place, and that's no one's fault. And yeah, but it's nice to be supporting local businesses in a way, and I really enjoy it. So that's my second pair of socks. I really feel like casting on all the socks today. I'm not sure, maybe once I put in my heel into the other sock or something, I'll allow myself another cast on. I'm not quite sure yet. My last work in progress, which I also really love, is the Go from the Grocery Store shawl, which is a pattern by Johi Locatelli. And the yarns that I'm using is Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Singles in the Villain colorway. And this tiny bit, I think I have about 15 grams left. This is a Fine Fish yarns in the Whatever Happened to Fairy Cakes colorway. And I love this yarn. This yarn is so stunning. I kind of want more of her, I think her name is Terry. I think I want more of Terry's yarn because this is one of my favorite yarns that I've worked in a long time. It's used in Messy Cake, but the stitch definition and the colors and the speckling is just really beautiful. So anyways, yeah, that's very blurry. There we go. I made quite a bit of progress on the shawl. You'll be impressed, I think. So let's show you the front side. That always helps. I'm trying not to clang my needles onto my desk. But so it starts out with this stripe section, and it is very wrinkly because I stuffed it into my project bag. And you can see the panda is where I was last week. So I completely finished this first main stripy section, and now I'm in the border, and the border is really beautiful. So you can see now I've switched to using almost only the Hedgehog Fibers yarn, and it has a feather and fan pattern which creates a sort of wavy look, but that's only really going to come out once I block it. So I think blocking is going to make a huge difference with this shawl. But yeah, I really like it. I was quite worried about how this yarn was going to look in a big chunk of color, because I really like it in the sort of stripes, but it is quite variegated and it's quite unusual colors, but I love it. I think it's absolutely stunning, and once I block it out, I think it's going to be even more stunning. And yeah, I'm super excited. So from here to this white stripe here, that's one repeat, so I think I have to do one more repeat of exactly that, and then some kind of bind off. So I kind of sped through this. I'm really enjoying it, like I said, and I can't wait to finish this actually. This feels very sort of summery to me, and it's also different colors to what I usually do, and yeah, I like the lightness of this. I think I'm going to wear this all the time, and I'm very excited about it. I'm using 4mm needles. I think the pattern is written for 4.5, but I just don't like using 4.5 needles, so I'm really happy with this. I usually knit my shawls on 3.5mm needles, and I don't really like the looser gauge, but I am actually really enjoying it, so maybe in the future I might do more shawls on 4mm needles because the drape is really nice. I always feel like the garter stitch is going to be a little bit wonky on a larger gauge, but it actually isn't. It's really beautiful. So yeah, I'm really happy with this one, and I can't wait to see how it looks when it's finished and to see how big it's going to block out. I have a feeling it's going to be quite large. I think most of Hohi's patterns are like relatively big shawls. So yeah, that's it for my finished, for my works in progress. Let me just get some stuff out of the way. Okay. I feel a little overwhelmed. All right. So let's talk about some acquisitions. I didn't think I was going to have any, and then yesterday, and the day before yesterday, 2 packages showed up. So the first package that showed up is from Nicole C. Mendes, whose card I showed you before. And I think I might have mentioned that I finally got into her Stripy Sock Club. So she has these 3-month clubs, and I think I have let 3 clubs pass. Because I've always really been wanting it, but either it was a bad time to spend money, or I missed it, or we were on holidays, or I always missed out, and it was really cruel. First world problems, right? So I finally treated myself to her most recent club, and the first shipment arrived. So I'm going to show the yarn. If you don't want to see it, if you're in the club and you don't want to be spoiled, look away now, because I'm going to show the yarn. Could she have picked a more suitable color for me? I mean, you guys, seriously, this is awesome. This is called Cupcake. It's in her 80/20 merino nylon base, and like I said before, this is much squishier and more luxurious sort of yarn than her previous base. And I mean, look at these colors. I'm not quite sure if it's going to be an even stripe, or if it's how many stripes it's going to be, but it is a self-striping yarn, and I mean, pinks and purples and white and brown. She could not have picked better colors, and I feel like this was kind of made for me. I realize it isn't, but yes, I am very, very happy about this. I couldn't have imagined anything better than this for the first shipment, and I'm already very curious about the next one, and yes, I'm super excited. You never know with a club, you never know what you're going to get, and lots of people like different stuff, so you know, there's no guarantee. But I'm really happy to be starting this club off with a colorway that I absolutely love, and yeah, I'm very happy about this. The other package that showed up was from a lovely viewer of the podcast. I don't even know how this happened. She had, I think she had provided a coupon code for her shop, which you can find all of the coupon codes in the Ravelry group in the respective thread. And I just sent her a message to say thank you for that, not expecting anything else. And then she said she would like to donate a prize for the knit along, and B, send me something as well. So the maker that I'm talking about is this one. It's Wild Woolly Handmade, who is Joanne. I believe she's in Canada. Let's check. I'll show you her logo first. She sent me this pretty stitch marker, which is so cute. And she makes project bags. Yeah, she's in Canada, in Ontario. And she makes project bags as well as soaps. And so she is donating a prize for the Celebrate Your Stash knit along. And she also she wanted to send me a little something. And what she sent me totally is way more than I expected. So first of all, she sent me a knitting card. How awesome is that? And then she sent me this absolutely stunning project bag. Isn't this unbelievable? It's really funny. I watched Amber of Yarn Hoarder, her podcast yesterday, and she actually has bought this fabric to make skirts, which is so awesome. But this is such a beautiful bag. So like I said, it's from Wild Woolly Handmade. I will link her shop, of course. And first of all, it's really, really well made on the outside, and I really like the print. I think it's gorgeous. It has one handle here. I love handles. And then it also has this small one here where you could attach a keychain or some like light bulb stitch markers. And I love these extras. It is a box bag. And on the inside, it's fully lined, and she gives you 2 pockets, which I think is so awesome. So there's 2 of these pockets, again, in a really, really beautiful print. And you can just see that this bag is absolutely well made. It came with a zipper pull that says Knitting Queen, which I love. And yeah, you can just see that this is a very high quality bag, and I absolutely love it. I'm not very good with these things, but I'm pretty sure it's somehow interfaced, so it does It is quite sturdy, but it's still soft, and I think it's the perfect size as well. I think I'm going to put one of, maybe I do a new sock cast on today and then put it in here. How's that for a justification? But yeah, it's just beautiful. I think, yeah, if you put in one skein of yarn, you still have plenty of room for your project. And I absolutely love it. She also sent me one of her solid lotion bars. And I haven't opened it because you can smell it already like this. Everything she sent smells amazing. This is in her Spice Coffee Cafe Peace scent, and it is amazing. I can't wait to use this. She said it's very good to put in your knitting bags and stuff, but I'm thinking I might actually take this to work with me so I can cheer myself up every now and then with a beautiful lotion bar. And yeah, I'm just so excited. And it smells amazing. So, Joanne, thank you so much. Seriously, I was so blown away. This is absolutely stunning. And like I said, she will be donating a very similar prize for the CYS KAL. So if you're wanting to join in, now you have some motivation to do so because this is amazing. Thanks so much, Joanne. And do check out her coupon code. I don't have it actually written down somewhere, but it is in the coupon code thread on Ravelry as well as some other coupon codes. So yeah, these are my acquisitions for this week. And I think that's it for the knitting content of this podcast. So if you're only here for the knitting part, that's absolutely fine. In that case, I will see you again next week. If you are sticking around, I'll just talk about what's been going on with life in general. So I'll talk about the most exciting thing first. Kaya and me, we've both kind of been trying to plan to go away on a holiday or just to take a couple of days off work. And that is proving quite difficult. Kai has the most insane calendar, and I mean, we're both working full time. I don't have that many days off, and it's just getting very complicated. But we managed to get a week off in the middle of July, and then it was like, well, what are we going to do? And we were both kind of stressing out and going back and forth between different ideas, and yeah, and finally on Saturday night we decided to just book a trip, and we're going to spend 8 days in the south of France. And I am really, really, really beyond excited about it. We've never been to France together. I've actually been a couple of times with my family when I was younger. I did study French, so I've been wanting to go back to France for a very long time to improve my French or get back into it, because I used to be relatively good at it and then I just kind of forgot it all. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm so looking forward to it, especially because we kind of didn't know anything was going to happen or that we were going to go anywhere for quite a long time, and then the sort of holiday and booking and everything happened quite fast. So we're going to fly down to Nice, which is on Côte d'Azur, in case you're interested. It's in the very south of France near Italy, and it's a beautiful place. It looks amazing, and we have booked a beautiful place in a I guess it's a small city called Vence, which is about 20 minutes from Nice, and I think it's going to be stunning. The views and everything looks amazing. We have a little rental car, and I'm just so looking forward to hang out, to take drives, to go to the beach, to eat French food, hopefully drive over to Italy because I'd like to do that. I'd like to see Monaco as well. And yeah, I'm just so happy about this, because we are going back and forth and considering different options, and this just seems so easy. And yeah, it's also only I think a 1 hour and 20-minute flight from Munich, so it feels like we'll be there very, very quickly, and that'll be a very sort of no-fuss holiday, which is exactly what I need. I'm going to be taking lots of knitting, because for the first time since we've been together, we're not going backpacking, which is what we've been doing a couple of times now. So I have, backpacked with knitting through Indonesia and through Thailand and through Vietnam, but it is kind of insane. Whereas with this holiday, I can just take my knitting. We have booked a sort of a little place to ourselves, and yeah, I can't wait. I think we have to work 5 more weeks until we go. And oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this. I'm also very ready for this because work has been insane. And I mentioned this on Instagram, and quite a few people was, I think they kind of misunderstood me. I wasn't really complaining. Like, it's just the fact is that we've been very understaffed, or we are very understaffed. So that just means that, you know, there's so much work to do. And you kind of speed through everything on Friday, seriously, I got back from work. It wasn't even too late, maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock or something, and I just felt like I had run a marathon. Because like there's just so much going on, and it's fun when there's a lot of stuff going on. I do actually I prefer that to when it's boring and there's nothing going on. I've always been like that, also in my previous jobs. But it has been very exhausting. So I feel like I've definitely earned my holiday, and I may have also done some yarn shopping, which wasn't really the plan regarding my CYS KAL, but oh well. So yeah, essentially I've been very quiet also on Instagram and stuff this week, just because I've been working and eating and sleeping and a little bit of knitting in between. But I'm hoping that'll change pretty soon. Today is Monday, but it's a public holiday. It's a long weekend because of Pentecost. So that's been amazing. Next weekend we also have a public holiday. Actually, the Thursday in our week. And not this week, but the week after, Kai is going to spend the entire week in England for a business trip, which is kind of sad, but it also means that I'm going to have so much knitting time, including a public holiday to myself. So I was kind of sad when I realized that he wasn't going to be there for the public holiday, but then I realized that's going to be really fun. So I'm just going to have a knitcation kind of next to my full-time work, and I'm looking forward to that. I have actually started to spin again yesterday, but I didn't bring it over because it's all on my wheel. But so yeah, I'm planning to craft my heart out, and hopefully work is going to calm down a little bit. Well, it might not, to be honest, but one can hope. Besides that, on Saturday morning we drove down to Lake Starnberg, which is one of our favorite places, and it's only about 20 minutes from where we live by car, so we like to go down there to have breakfast. There's a really cute coffee shop. And then after a year of living in Munich, I really wanted to go to a new to me yarn store which has amazing reviews, and they sell yarns like hedgehog fibers and really, really nice yarns. And so we kind of drove there. It was kind of on the way, but it turned into a bit of a trek because we were walking all over this town to find it in the sun. It was like 30 degrees, and then the yarn shop was closed. So that was a little sad. I was a little grumpy after that. But that's also maybe a reason why I may have ordered some yarn afterwards, because I was a little bit frustrated. But all in all, you know, nothing terrible at all. I just really wanted to get to the shop and buy some hedgehog fibers. But oh well. Now I'm just rambling to myself. I'm probably just gonna let you guys go. I think I need some more coffee. I'm not sure if I need more coffee or less coffee. I'm not. You know how sometimes you're in between and you don't really know which way to go now. But I think I'm going to make myself some coffee, and then I'm just going to spend a lot of time knitting. I'm so sort of inspired, and I'm in such a crafty mood lately. I'm really enjoying that. Except that it also makes me a little bit frustrated because there's never enough time to do all the crafty things, but oh well. So I will see you again next week, probably next weekend, but I am not 100% sure yet, but most likely. If you are one of the Knit Along winners, please do get in touch with me. And otherwise, I would love to see you over in the Ravelry group, or I just love talking to you guys, whether it's on Instagram, on the YouTube comments, on Ravelry. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Happy knitting. Thanks for watching. Bye.